Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
So is this room like for atheists, like to talk with theists, or what's this room about?
Yeah, I want to talk with some mature-minded, intelligent atheists who will present an intelligent case for the actuality and rationality of their God denialism.
Oh, so like I guess I'm an atheist. Can I go or?
Real quick.
Yeah, tell me why there's no God.
Well, I think that the God hypothesis is like unfalsifiable. So I
Okay,
typically don't
stop right
believe in
there.
unfalsifiable
Stop,
hypotheses.
stop, stop, stop. Number one, when we talk about God, conceptually, philosophically, God is not a hypothesis. God, when we're referring to the supreme being and creator of all things that are not himself, constitutes a world view. We could characterize that worldview as the creator-creature distinction, okay, as opposed to something like naturalism, where you just have a plurality of things that don't universally derive and depend upon God. So first and foremost, God is not a hypothesis, okay?
Well, it is a hypothesis insofar as like you can have metaphysical
Sir,
hypotheses.
sir, when we're talking about something that is completely comprehensive, a worldview is not a hypothesis, okay?
Wait, you don't think that there can be like metaphysical things that can make like predictions or have like explanatory power?
You are confusing sub-paradigms that are contained, certain states of affairs that are contained within a comprehensive worldview.
That's not what a
So we only have,
sub-paradigm is.
listen to me. In a worldview is all, how shall I put this to you, all encompassing, okay? So both atheism and theism are worldviews. They're all encompassing. They're universal negatives, both of them, okay?
Sure.
Now, they're not, okay, so when you refer to God as a hypothesis, you are borrowing from cliches from the world of atheism. God is not a hypothesis, okay?
Wait, how's that a cliche? I'm not understanding.
Because because I just explained to you that a worldview is not a hypothesis.
But no, but that's simply not true though, because like you can have metaphysical hypotheses, right, that can make predictions and explain things. Hypothesis isn't just like a
Okay,
simply science bound.
sir, you're still not getting this, okay?
What am I not getting?
Hypotheses have to do. Listen to me. When I go out in the morning and I look at my car and the tire's flat, I could form a hypothesis that there was a state of affairs that brought about the flat tire. Okay. Now
Right.
maybe I ran. Right, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. Now maybe it's the case that I ran over a nail. Maybe it's the case that my tire is old and it's leaking. Maybe it's the case that somebody slashed my tire. Okay. I could come up with any number of explanations as to why my tire is flat. Okay.
Right.
But the flat tire is a contingent situation. Okay. When we try to explain the contingent situation, okay, that's what we refer to a hypothesis. Okay. What you were attempting to do, you see, you made a mistake. You revealed your cards too soon because then you talked about the falsification criterion, which is another atheist cliche. Okay?
Wait,
Now,
how's
you're
the
not.
falsification criterion atheist cliche? Because like that's used outside of like atheistic like
I
literature.
will. I will. I will explain to you. I will explain to you why. Okay. The falsification criterion, when it is used on a grand scale, okay, when applied to God, is simply a historical permutation of verificationism that arrived on the scene in the middle of the 20th century. Do you know what verificationism is?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Okay, are you there?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you, but can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Okay, so when you apply falsificationism as a universal principle, it's self-stultifying. Okay, You understand?
Yeah, like I get that. I just want to be clear. I'm not postulating verificationism or falsificationism. Like I'm familiar with both of those views. All I'm merely saying is that I don't accept like when people provide God as like a thesis or like as an explanation. I don't think that God has any form of like explanatory power, right? And that scope isn't going to be reduced to like
That is. How old are you, sir?
I'm 20 years old.
Okay. The reason why I ask you is people who make remarks like that usually are younger rather than older. That is patently absurd what you just said.
What's absurd
Of
about it?
course, okay. So let me explain it to you. Okay, when you said God offers no explanatory power, okay, let me tell you why this is completely wrong. Okay. When we talk about God, first of all, we have to be on the same page as to what we mean. So when we talk about God, we're referring to that which is ultimate and is the source and basis of why anything exists and is an agent, is a mind, and being that mind being ultimate is the source of all things, the source and basis of all things that are not itself. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Now, now, when you say God is not explanatory, that's simply ridiculous. Okay? You may not choose to believe that it is the correct explanation, but to say that it has no explanatory power is patently absurd.
Yeah, what I
Okay?
mean what I mean by that is that if we were to have like two theses, right? And we were to examine both the God thesis and we're to examine like let's say another thesis, right? Another supernatural thesis, then what I'm saying is that there's not going to be any novel like predictions made by like the God thesis that like the other supernatural thesis can't like account for, right? And what I'm saying is that like when you have a thesis that can't make any novel predictions, then there's no
Yeah,
reason to really
yeah,
hold the
yeah, yeah. This is philosophical sophism. Okay, you think I haven't heard this before?
what's incoherent about it?
Do you think I have? Well, I'll explain to you why it's sophism. Okay, because when you talk about novel predictions, you're bringing in notions of empiricism. Okay,
That's
and
not
trying
true.
to, as you would, of course it is. When you talk about novel predictions, okay, why does a prediction into the future matter?
You can what you no, predictions are not are not laid into the
Okay,
scope of
sir,
empiricism.
listen to me. You said God has no explanatory power whatsoever. That is ludicrous. Okay. So, for example, for example, so you could conceive of a world without God where something is ultimate, but it's not an agent. Okay. Now you have a choice. You can either believe in God as ultimate, okay, the source of all possibility, or you can choose not to believe in that. Now, if you choose not to believe in that, you then have two options. You will therefore believe that what is ultimate is not an agent, God, or that you will believe there's nothing ultimate at all. How do either of those situations offer any explanatory power?
I'm not sure. I'm not like it just depends on what you mean by it. Just
Does
depends
the
on
not God position, does the not God world, okay, whatever you say it constitutes, does it offer explanatory power?
yeah, sure, of course it does.
Okay. All right. See, this is your naivete. This is your lucky day. You're going to learn. Okay. Now, in your not God world that you're operating from, okay, when you reject that God is and He's the absolute, the ultimate, right? You will reject that God is the ultimate by virtue of what is ultimate that is not an agent, such as God, or that there's no ultimate at all. Okay? Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't think the concept of like ultimacy is like coherent.
Okay. Okay, listen to me. What's your previous screen name? Because I've talked with you before, haven't I?
I don't think so.
You sound very familiar, my friend.
Who do I sound like?
If I come to the conclusion that you're lying to me, and we have previously talked before, you're going to be bounced. So it's better to be straightforward with me now.
I'm being
Okay.
100% straightforward.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take your word for it at the moment. Now, so when you reject the worldview that God is ultimate, that God is the absolute from which all things derive and depend. Okay? You say, well, God doesn't offer any explanatory power whatsoever, right? But the not God world does,
Yeah.
right? Now, okay, so in the not God world that you're holding to, is it quantified that there is something that is ultimate,
No, I don't think.
or
Like
that
I said,
there's
I
nothing?
don't think. I don't think ultimate.
Sir, listen to me carefully.
Okay.
Okay, when you reject the God worldview, you are rejecting that which is ultimate and is an eternal mind. Okay, you would only be able to do so by something that is ultimate, that is not a mind, that will be the negator for what is ultimate, that is a mind, or that nothing is ultimate at all. So which of those two scenarios represents your not God world?
Yeah. So like I was saying, like I don't take anything to be ultimate because ultimacy relations aren't very
Okay.
clear to me.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what they are.
Okay. All right. So now you've decided to go for doomsday. Okay, we can play that game. Okay. If nothing is ultimate, then there is nothing, either chronologically or contemporarily, fundamentally dictating every instance of what is, can be, or cannot be.
Yeah. Can you explain to me what that means? I'm not sure I understand that.
Ultimate refers to that which is absolute and self-contained and is the source of everything that is not itself. Okay? Now,
Yeah.
ultimacy is a state, it's a state of universality in that everything that is not the ultimate, everything derives and depends upon the ultimate. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter whether we call it ultimate or absolute, but ultimate is a little bit more specific and more clear. Okay? Now,
Yeah.
what you are saying is, okay, so your criterion is you reject the God worldview because it doesn't have any explanatory power.
Right.
What you have now done is you have now stepped on a landmine and it's gone off on you because that criterion destroys your position. Because once you say, I do not believe nor do I accept that anything is ultimate, you are now in a world of utter chance where there is nothing singularly fundamental that dictates why anything is, can be, or cannot be. Okay?
What's the argument
There,
for
there.
that? I wasn't sure I heard the argument for that.
Oh, okay. So I had talked with you before. You are a recruit from Jack Angster. Okay, so I had talked with you before. So you, sir, are a liar. Okay, because why would I need an argument for that?
Because you made
See,
the claim.
hold on a second. You thought you were going to fool me, didn't you?
I don't
I
know what
have
you're talking
spoken with
about.
you before.
I'm asking you
Listen
what
to.
the argument for your claim is.
Why do you need an argument for that?
Because you made a claim, and I don't take the claim to be
Okay,
true.
okay, so you're not understanding, okay? So you don't accept anything as ultimate. Then
Right.
why is any state of affairs what it is, can be, or cannot be? What
You're
dictates
burden
that?
shifting. I'm not the one who made the claim.
No, sir, no. Listen, do you think I'm not onto you? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not burden shifting. I'm asking you a clarification, a question of clarification, so that we can
I
unpack
don't
your
even hold
position.
to. I don't even
Now,
hold
I'm
to.
asking you a question. When events occur, okay, in your not God world, is there anything that singularly and fundamentally dictates why any event is, can be, or cannot be?
Well, that's just going to depend on like what epistemological view you hold to.
Okay. Listen to me. Oh, I know who you are. You're Detroiter, aren't you?
Last
Well,
chance.
the question was what, and the possibility and impossibility, and I determined that by a conceptual analysis of modal terms,
Okay,
right?
bye. We're done. Mute
Conceptual
his dumb ass.
analysis.
He determined it by a conceptual
We've
analysis.
heard this
What? Okay,
before.
hold on, Tom Locke. Hold on a second.
I'm not the Troyer at all, but I know who he is. I'm not the Troyer.
Okay. Yeah. You're playing this game. I'm going to give you one more chance. If you don't start talking to me like an adult, you're going to be gone. You're going to play this little game. When you refuse to answer a question, you go, "Oh, what's the argument for that?" Listen carefully. In your mind, in the not God world, are there events?
Yeah, of course. I think temporal events exist. Yeah.
Okay. Are each and every one of these events intelligible?
Yeah, sure. They can be. Yeah.
Okay. Now, You reject the notion that there is anything that's absolute from which all events ultimately derive and depend. So
Yeah,
I'm
those
asking you,
concepts seem weird to me.
okay, overtalk me again and you're gone. Okay? Now, in your view, okay, in your not God world, why does any event happen?
Well, what do you mean? Why does any event happen? Like, are you asking like a
Okay,
causal explanation?
you got 10 seconds to answer the question or I'm kicking you. Because what you just said, what you just did is a dodge and delay tactic. Why does any event happen if it is not ultimately derived from the mind and the purpose and the plan of God? Since you reject that, why does any event happen?
Well, there are going to be things like agency, things like that. There's going to be like laws of logic, nomological considerations, things like that.
Stop with the nomenclature bullshitting. Okay,
What terms
laws of
didn't you
logic.
understand?
Hey, listen to me. I'm going to tell you one more time. Over talk me one more time, and you're gone. Okay, the laws of logic do not stand in causal relations. Do you want to assert that they do?
No, I don't take them to be in causal relations. No.
Okay, then laws of logic right now are not germane to what we're talking about, and you are just stalling. Okay, just try to deceive me again, and I'm going to bounce you without further warning. I will ask you the question again. Stop with the nomenclature dropping because you're not fooling me. Okay, I want to know, since you don't believe that it is the mind of God ultimately that all events derive and depend upon. Okay, I want to know is why do any events happen?
Well, they're going to be physical explanations, things like that. Like I said, nomological like considerations, all that type.
Okay, yeah, nominal logical considerations. That's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo bullshit. Okay, there's going to be, okay, so everything is caused by what? All events are the product of what?
Well, I mentioned. Well, they can be a product of your agency.
No. Don't do me a favor. Why do any and all events happen? Or
Well,
is there no specific reason why all events happen?
there doesn't seem to be there's any specific reason for why events happen.
Okay,
For
good, good.
some events, of course, it can
How
be
do you
traced back to some sort.
okay, really? And would there be a fundamental reason why that happens?
Yeah, one's agency.
No, you're not under. We're not talking about that. Okay. You said there is no fundamental reason why anything happens. You said there's nothing ultimate. So
Yeah,
all we have is
I don't
there.
take
So
ultimacy
we just.
relations to be coherent.
So okay, good. So is there a universal causal principle?
I don't see why there has to be. So no,
Okay. So okay, listen to me. Listen. Do you understand how I'm getting agitated with you because you're being dishonest here? Okay. Now,
I'm sorry about that.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this bullshit. It doesn't seem to be. I don't care about. Oh, it seems to be. It doesn't seem to be. Okay. There is no fundamental rhyme or reason why anything happens in your view, is it?
That's not true. I already said that for
Okay.
certain
Okay.
things.
Get. No. You just said there's nothing that's ultimate. So therefore, there's nothing that's fundamental.
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, you asked me
Okay.
about
So there's no.
explanations, and I said
So there's no ontological fundamental reason why things happen, is there?
not for everything. No, like there's certain things
No.
that
Well,
like
okay.
we don't
Oh,
understand.
is there is something fundamental?
No, I don't take anything to be fundamental. No,
Okay. So then there's no fundamental reason why anything happens.
that doesn't follow. Like
Okay.
that's not.
Goodbye. Okay, dude, listen to me. I'm kicking you for your deceit.
Can
You
we
see,
try
you
again?
think
Like I
I
don't want
don't
to be
know. You
dishonest.
think
Can we
okay?
try again?
Goodbye. Okay, this guy is a part of the egg shrike crew. Okay, when they don't like what they're hearing, rather than have a rebuttal, they'll just going, "I'm not seeing the relevance inside. That doesn't seem to follow. What's the argument for that?" This guy wants to talk about reason and truth and logic, but there's nothing fundamental dictating anything. And he flips and flops. One minute he says there's nothing fundamental, but then he says there are some things that are fundamental. Yeah, I've talked with this guy before, and he's lying, okay? It's just I can't recognize his previous screen name.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, get out of here.
Salam.
What's I even
Bye.
say?
Go ahead, Hyperion. Why are you an atheist?
Hello, Mr. Duff. I hope you're having a good day.
I am.
I'm not
Yeah.
an atheist, but I have a
Okay,
question.
goodbye.
No. Like your
Goodbye.
opinion on the principle of sufficient.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason. What's the argument for that?